All right, boys and girls, today in math, we are working on lesson 1.7, and we're going to learn ways to make the number 5.
How can you use two sets of objects to show 5 in more than one way? Hi there! Henry and I have been given a treat. We each have 5 apples. Some are red and some are green. Click the apples to see them better. That's better. Henry's set has 5 apples and my set has 5 apples. But the sets look different. Each set has a different number of red apples and a different number of green apples. Which do you think could be my set of apples? Let's learn how to show 5 in more than one way.
Jessica has 5 marbles in a bag. The marbles can be red or yellow. You can show the marbles that might be in Jessica's bag using counters. Count to find out how many red counters you have. 1, 2, 3. You have 3 red counters. Now count the yellow counters. Click on the counter to begin. 1, 2. You have 2 yellow counters. That means Jessica might have 3 red marbles and 2 yellow marbles. Is there another way to show the 5 marbles in Jessica's bag? Let's find out. Yes, Jessica might have different numbers of red and yellow marbles in her bag because there's more than one way to make 5. How many red counters are there now? 1. There is 1 red counter. How many yellow counters are there? Start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 yellow counters. So Jessica could have 1 red marble and 4 yellow marbles. Each set shows 5 counters. But the sets of red and yellow counters are not all the same. There are different ways to make sets of 5 counters, with some that are red and some that are yellow. This 5 frame can help you use counters to make 5. When a 5 frame is full of red and yellow counters, you know that you have a pair that makes 5. Start placing red counters into the 5 frame. One, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 red counters. Your 5 frame isn't full yet. Drag yellow counters from the dispenser to fill up the 5 frame. Now your 5 frame is full. How many yellow counters are in the 5 frame?
So we just filled in 1 yellow counter. So they're giving us 2 options. They show us the number 1 and the number 2. But we only have 1 yellow counter in the 5 frame. So our answer is going to be 1.
That's right. There's 1 yellow counter in the 5 frame. So 4 red counters and 1 yellow counter is one way to make 5. 4 and 1 is a number pair that make 5.
Okay, so now we're going to look in our math books. We are on page 48. Sorry, 49. So just like the video showed us, we have a purple bag with some marbles. So there are 5 marbles in the bag. Some can be red, some can be yellow. Now I'm going to show you what the counters look like. This is what the counters are. Circles, and it has 2 colors. One side is yellow, one side is red. I haven't looked up on the internet to see if they have it for sale, but I'm pretty sure Amazon does have it, family. So if you want to look this up and have this handy at home, we're going to be using counters a lot this school year. So this helps out the kids because it's tactile, it's hands-on, and they get to use it when they're doing math. So I highly recommend, if you have a chance, definitely purchase these red and yellow double-sided counters so that way your kids could have them at home when they do math. So going back to our book, they want us to show a different way to make 5. So I'm gonna have 2 red counters. So I'm gonna trace 2 circles with my pencil, and then I am going to color those 2 circles red. So these 2 circles here, I trace with my pencil, and I'm going to color it in with my crayon. Make sure you stay inside of the circle. So that's 1 red. And you fill it in all the way so you don't have any white spots. And that's 2 red, okay? So if you're working in your math books right now, I would like for you to please trace the 2 circles up at the top of the marble bag, and then you're gonna color it in with your red crayon.
I already did that.
Excellent, Gracie Mani. So now we're gonna move on to the other circles in the marble bag, but those are not gonna be red. I'm gonna make those yellow. So we're gonna trace those other circles with our pencil first. And now we're gonna color them in yellow. So that's 1 yellow. This is 2 yellow. And last but not least, 3 yellow.
6.
Okay, so just finish up the first page. If you're still working on coloring in the circles, always remember that you can take your time and you can catch up with us afterwards. But I do have to move along because class is actually over in 5 minutes. So now we are going to turn to the next page. And here, looking up at the top, we have a 5 frame. Now, they gave us the red and yellow counters. So what we're going to do is we're going to count and label the red counters first. So watch, Miss Castro, as I do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm stopping at the number 4, boys and girls, because that's the last red counter that I see. So I have 4 red counters, and I'm going to trace the number 4 next to the red counter down there at the bottom.
Excuse me.
So that we have 4 red counters. Yes, Scarlett.
So how many minutes we leave?
We're leaving in 5 minutes, Scarlett. We're just finishing up the math work so that way you know what to do for your Google assignment today, okay?
Okay.
All right, and now we're gonna count and label the yellow counters in the 5 frame. Now, notice that I'm not going to count the counters that are below the 5 frame down at the bottom. I'm only counting the ones in the 5 frame, okay? So in the 5 frame, I only see 1 yellow counter. So I'm gonna write the number 1 there. To show that I have 1 yellow counter down below, I'm gonna trace the number 1. And a way to make the number 5 is by having 4 red counters and 1 yellow counter. So 4 and 1 make 5. All right, now we're gonna go down to the bottom. On the next problem, we're gonna figure out a different way to show 5. So I'm gonna show in the screen. Look at the screen, boys and girls. Who can tell me how many red counters do I have? Raise your hand if you want to share with us how many red counters is Ms. Castro holding. Alina, go ahead and unmute yourself. How many red counters are you holding, Alina?
3.
3. All right, so we have 3 red counters. In the 5 frame, I'm going to illustrate those 3 red counters. So first you draw the 3 circles. Now we're going to color in those 3 circles with the color red. I colored a little sloppy, boys and girls. I'm sorry. Don't color the way Miss Castro's doing. Make sure you fill in your circles all the way in with the color red. I'm just trying to get through this a little bit faster because I know we are short on time. So in our 5 frame, I illustrated the 3 red counters. The other boxes in the 5 frame will be yellow. So I have to finish filling up that 5 frame with yellow. So 1, 2. And I color them in yellow. Now I'm going to count to see how many red and how many yellow I have. Elijah, you have a question? Go ahead.
3 plus 2.
3 plus 2.
Yes, correct. We have 3 red counters, thank you, Elijah, and 2 counters. So 3 red and 2 yellow gives us 5. So on the line, boys and girls, you have to write how many red, and we counted 1, 2, 3, and then how many yellow? 1, 2. All right, moving along to the next problem. We're going to find a different way to show the number 5.
It's 9:40.
We had 4 red and 1 yellow. Then we had 3 red and 2 yellow. Now I'm thinking of having how many yellow we have. So let's illustrate 2 red in the next 5 frames. So 2 red. 1 circle, 2 circles. And now we're going to color in those 2 circles the color red. Yes, Skyla?
I can't really see the homework.
If you're on mommy's phone, the best thing you need to do is to turn the phone sideways. Turn the phone sideways so you can see the screen better, my dear. I think that might help. I still see you vertical.
No, because she's on the tablet, but she has to click on the switch to presentation. She can't stay on new. She was on new.
Got
That's
it.
Okay.
Can you see now, Skyla?
Mm-hmm.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so we have 2 red circles, and now the rest of the 5 frame, we're going to fill them in yellow.
Why are you unmuting yourself?
So now these other circles, I'm going to color them yellow. And now the last thing that we're going to do, boys and girls, is we're going to fill in on the lines to show how many red we have and how many yellow we have. So first we're going to count the red. I count 1, 2, red. So I'm going to write the number 2 on the line next to the red. And I'm counting 1, 2, 3 yellow. So I'm going to write the number 3 on the line next to the yellow. So another way to make 5 is to have 2 red and 3 yellow. And you can actually use your hands, boys and girls, just like Elijah's doing right now. You can use your hands to show how many red you have. So we have 2 red, and then how many yellow we have, which is 3. So when you count them all together, you should get 5. So now we're going to do the last problem. Now Ms. Castro is thinking of only having 1 red. So I'm only going to illustrate 1 red. And now the rest of the 5 frame are going to be yellow. And last but not least, I need to show the numbers on the line to explain how many red and how many yellow I have. So I count 1 red. So I'm going to write the number 1 on the line next to the color red. And I count 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow. So I'm going to write the number 4 on the line next to yellow. Okay? And we're going to stop there. And I'm sorry, boys and girls, I know I went over 5 minutes. It's practically 9:45. I'm sorry, but I need to make sure that you get
Finish your nachos.
information so that way you know what to do for your Google Classroom assignments, okay? So I will let you unmute yourselves in a few moments. Just hold on 1 second. I want to give everyone a chance to finish this up. And then always remember, boys and girls, I record our lessons. So if you ever need to go back, our lessons are going to be posted on our Google Classroom. So just look it up there, and then you can go back and feel free to look to see how we did the work. So that way you know what to do for your Google Classroom assignments, which I'm going to show you right now. So let me stop sharing this screen. I'm going to share you a different screen. I'm going to share with you our Google Classroom. today is lesson 1.7. So in your math books, you're gonna be working on pages 53. You're gonna show Ms. Castro 2 ways to make the number 5, and you're gonna use your yellow and red crayons or your color pencils, red and yellow, to show me different ways. They have to be different ways, boys and girls. Don't make it the same number, because we just learned so many ways right now to make the number 5. And then also on the back, page 54, that's also part of tonight's assignments. If for some reason you don't have the book, you can work on page 1-35 and 1-36. Or if you would like for your child to do extra work, no problem, by all means. Definitely, you can have them work on these 2 extra pages. Okay? So that is it, boys and girls. Thank you so much. Hold on one second.